Hello, in this video I'm going to give you the chance to discover the cause of your fear of driving or a fear of anything else like flying, swimming, etc. Any kind of fear or phobia. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to explain what's going to happen, and please watch this video from start to finish before you do any of this. So watch it through in full and then go back and actually do it the second time. I'm going to make it quite fun, and what you're going to need to do is either record yourself. I recommend get a camera, get your phone, and you're going to have to record yourself doing this. And you could, if you want, have someone sitting opposite you watching. It's up to you how you do it. You could have a pen and paper, but you'll see what I mean when we get into this. I recommend recording yourself, and if you want, send in a video and I'll put it on the channel if you want to show people what happened for you. So the idea behind this, if you don't know, is that problems such as anxiety, fears and phobias are caused by past events. They're simply old behaviours, often from childhood, that are reliving. So you're reliving and reproducing a feeling from childhood or any other time in your life when you drive, fly or whatever. Because as I always say, a fear of driving has nothing to do with driving, fear of flying has nothing to do with flying. That's only what sets it off. We're interested in the cause. Now, there are 7 normal causes, 7 kind of not normal, 7 common causes for the fear and anxiety. Now, I'm going to read them off now. I could do them from memory, but I don't want to risk getting it wrong, so I'm going to read them from my screen. I've just written down the titles, and I'll tell you what each one is. It is important that you listen to these and understand these, because in a moment I'm going to ask you some questions. If you don't know what I'm asking, you won't be able to answer them. So I'm going to ask you, is it because of this? So is your fear of driving because of this? And you're going to answer yes or no. You'll be doing this in hypnosis, so it will be subconscious. It won't work if you just do it consciously, because you need to be in a different part of your mind. I'm going to ask you 7 questions, and I'm going to say, is it caused by this? And you'll answer yes or no. I'll then ask you another question, is it caused by this, yes or no? So here is what these 7 things are. The first one is what we call an imprint. Now, an imprint is when someone or something from your past has left an imprint on you. So let's say, for example, and I'm going to be very vague here because I don't want to kind of push you into any certain preconceptions, so please keep an open mind. I'm going to use a fear of flying as an example. So let's just say that your parents had a fear of flying, and when you were younger you remember that. So every time you flew with them, you remember them being scared and whatever. That's an imprint. It's an impression that someone has made on you, and you won't know this. You might think, oh no, that's not for me. You might be surprised when we do the hypnosis and we get into the questions. You'll be surprised what comes up sometimes. It will really shock you. The next one is an unresolved current issue. So when I ask you, is it caused by an unresolved current issue? What that means is something happening in your life now. It could be an unhappy relationship. It could be stress at work. Something that's happening now. There's no links to the past. Maybe there is, but it's something that's happening in your life today. So when you go to work, you're hating it every day. When you go out, let's say you get the train to work and there's always some obnoxious person on the train and they're always annoying you or whatever, hassling you. Something like that, something that's a current now problem. The next one is secondary gain. So secondary gain is when your problem is serving another purpose. So for example, I've used this example before, somebody I worked with years ago. You don't drive because not being able to drive stops you visiting your mother-in-law. So that's secondary gain. The driving isn't really the issue, it's because it's stopping you from doing something else that you really don't want to do. So the driving is not the issue at all, it's just that it's stopping you doing that because that stops you doing something else. The next one is identification. So identification means that you are identifying with someone. For example, in the case of, let's just say, someone who wants to stop smoking, you smoke because your favourite celebrity smokes. And again, you might think, oh no, it's not that, it's rubbish. You'll be surprised what comes up when you do this in hypnosis. And you might answer yes. And you think, huh? Why did I say that? Because that's the truth. That's your subconscious speaking. Not now. This is conscious. Won't do anything. So you identify with someone else. An inner conflict. Now, an inner conflict is similar to secondary gain. The one where I said you're not driving, so you can't see your mother-in-law. But an inner conflict is something else, which is normally just to do with you. It's when you're repressing some kind of taboo or some kind of thing that you feel will be wrong. So let's just say, for example, I'm not talking about myself, but I fear driving because if I could drive, I might go and have an affair with someone because there's a woman I could drive to and have an affair with. But if I can't drive, I can't get to her. So that's what gives me a fear of driving. So it's an inner struggle. There are two parts of you that want different things. One part wants to drive, but the other one is like, oh, but if you do that, you might do this. Another example, you might want to go and train in martial arts, but you might have some weird fear of going to the martial arts class. It could be because you secretly fear damaging your leg, breaking your leg, and because that would harm your career, something like that. So it's an inner conflict. That's what an inner conflict is. The next one is past experience. So is it that, let's say, someone who has a fear of the dark could have been locked in a cupboard when they were a child? And this is something you may have forgotten. This is the whole point. You won't consciously remember the event through this. This is to say yes or no and to show what the cause is. You won't necessarily have the cause revealed to you. So it's just to reveal the cause of your problem. This is to reveal yes, no. It tells you what the event is. It won't tell you what the event is. I'm getting ahead of myself. It will tell you what it's caused by. So it will tell you the kind of rough area it's caused by. It won't tell you the exact specific event. But that could pop into your mind when you do this. The last one is self-punishment or guilt. So simply, do you fear driving because, I don't want to give you any suggestions, but because you don't feel worthy? It's like, I don't deserve this. If I could drive, I could get a better job, and I don't deserve that because I don't deserve success. So those are the 7 things that often cause anxiety. It can be one or more, and there are others. But for most people by far, it will be one or more of these. So in a moment, I'm going to get you to answer yes or no to those questions. And if you can't answer yes or no, that's fine. If it's a maybe, that's fine. However, a maybe is almost always a yes. Let's get on with this. So we're going to do a basic bit of hypnosis. So this is nothing scary. This is not what I would do with clients. So if you come to me, this is not the kind of thing I do in a session. This is a kind that I found has worked well in videos in the past. So although it's not my preferred thing, it doesn't matter. If it works well for you, that's what matters. Please don't do this if you have any kind of bipolar, schizophrenia, if you have asthma, don't do it. Epilepsy, anything like that. Just if you have any kind of problems like those, I don't recommend doing this, or at least have someone with you, because we're going to focus partly on your breathing, and hypnosis can make asthma and epilepsy worse, apparently, they say. So if you're not sure, don't do it. Any doubts at all, don't do it. But let's get into this. Now, the way you're going to do it is I recommend, first of all, filming yourself. It's easier to do it with your hands. We need to sit with your hands on your lap like this. I hope you can see this in the video. You probably can see my lap there, but I'm sitting with my hands on my lap, on my legs like this. I'm going to ask you to answer yes or no, and I'll go through this as we do it. But what happens is, one of these is what you call ideomotor responses. That's the ideomotor responses is when you move muscles involuntarily in hypnosis to answer questions, because your subconscious can't use words. So imagine I'm in hypnosis now, and I'm going to ask myself, choose a movement with one of my hands that means yes. And I might go like this. So when I do that, that means yes. Choose another movement in your other hand that means no. And this hand will probably go something like that. Then it can be your thumb, it can be your little finger. Your hand might move like that, you might move like this. It could be your shoulder goes like that, and your elbow goes like that. It could be your feet. Your mind doesn't play along with what you want, as you know, if you've got anxiety. So you may ask it to move a finger on your left hand, and it can move your right hand. So I'm going to put you into this state of hypnosis now. It's a very kind of normal, light state of hypnosis we're going to use. And I'm going to ask you to first of all decide on a movement for yes and no with your fingers. I'm then going to read you those 7 questions. And the thing is, when you play the video back, you may be aware that you're moving your fingers as you do it, but many times people say, well, nothing happened. When you watch the video back, you'll be amazed to see your finger twitching like this. Oh, I was answering yes to that one. That could be the cause of your problem. So, get ready, and I'm now going to fade the video to black because I don't want you distracted by the screen or me. So, the screen will now fade away, but continue to listen to my voice. And all I want you to do is to get somewhere comfortable, somewhere where it will be safe for you to fall asleep. And all I want you to do is to just start to calm yourself and just allow your eyes to close whenever you feel the need for them to close. And I want you to start to imagine yourself somewhere special for you. Think of maybe somewhere you've been on a holiday, a vacation. You can make up somewhere in your mind. It could be a fantasy world. It doesn't matter what it is. And I want you to really start to imagine that place in as much detail as you can. Think about what you're seeing around you. Think about if you're standing or sitting or lying down. Think about any sounds. Can you hear anything around you? Are there any other people there? Maybe you can feel the temperature of the air, or you can feel a breeze blowing through this place. And you could be indoors, outdoors. You could be anywhere you choose. But wherever you are, whether you're standing or sitting, some people are even riding a push bike, that's up to you. I want you to start to really get into this place and really make it as clear as you can. And as you're doing this, what I want you to do is to imagine in the moment that there is now this beam of light that's going to start to shine down your body. It's a bit like you're lying on a giant photocopier. You know the way the light kind of scans down the pages, it goes zzz, and it kind of scans the page and sends the information into the computer. I want you to imagine there's a light like that, just starting to shine above your head. And that light is slowly moving its way down to the top of your head. And it's just now touching the top of your head. And you're starting to feel all the muscles around your scalp, maybe around your eyelids and your forehead, all going loose and limp and lazy. And that light continues to move down, going down slowly past your ears, around your mouth, down to your chin, down to your neck. All the time, all these muscles just getting more and more loose and limp and lazy, feeling really calm as this light goes down and down your body. And it's fine if you're doing this quicker or slower than I'm saying. So the light can be around your shoulders now. Maybe it's already down to your waist. That's fine. And I want you to take the time just to allow this light to go down and down and down and down, deeper and deeper down your body, feeling more and more calm and tranquil and at rest as this light moves down and down and down. And I'm going to give you some time to do this. So I will stop speaking now for a few seconds or so and just allow you some time to allow that light So you just fall down and down, deeper and deeper, until it reaches the very tips of your toes. When you're feeling this as much as you possibly can, I'd like you to just put your hands on your lap, just like I mentioned before, so your fingers are pointing up at the ceiling. And I want you to now to think about how you're going to move your hand to answer yes. I want your subconscious mind to now do that. I want you to get your powerful subconscious mind to show you a movement in one of your hands that means yes. And just encourage your mind now to make that movement in one of your hands, your fingers, whatever it chooses, to signify an answer of yes. And you can thank your powerful mind for doing that. And now I'd like you to ask it to show you how an answer of no would be interpreted. What movement in your fingers, your hand, or whatever else it chooses would mean no. And now you've got those things arranged and ready. I'm going to read you 7 questions. And I'd like your subconscious mind to answer yes or no to each of these questions. I want you to really focus on the problem that you have, this fear of driving or whatever it may be. Maybe start to think about the time it's affected you recently. And as you do so, and you start to get just a slight feeling of that fear, it doesn't need to be too strong. You can keep it at bay. And if it does become distressing, you can just imagine yourself standing in the room, looking back at yourself doing this. And I want you to ask your powerful subconscious mind, now, this problem that I have, is it caused by an imprint from my past? Something someone said or did in my past? And the second question I want your powerful subconscious mind to answer is this problem you have, this fear, this phobia, this anxiety, is it caused by a current issue in your life, something that's happening right now? And the third question you're going to ask your subconscious mind to answer is this fear caused by secondary gain? So is it covering up for something else? Is it stopping me doing something else? And the fourth question is this fear of driving, or whatever your fear is, caused by identifying with someone? Am I copying someone else, their behaviour? And the fifth question to ask is this fear caused by an inner conflict? Do I want to do one thing, but another part of me wants to do something else? And the next question is this fear caused by a past experience? And the next question is this fear caused by self-punishment? Is it because you feel guilty about not achieving success or something like that? And now you've done those, I want you to thank your powerful mind for giving you that advice, that help. And in your own time, when you're ready, I want you to just slowly start to reverse that light. So it's going down from your feet up to the top of your head. And as it goes up your body, you're feeling more and more awake and alert, and you're coming back to normal. And anytime you choose, you can open your eyes and you can then start to watch this again as the screen fades back in. And there's no rush. If you want to take your time, just take your time. And if you are back with me, then welcome back. So, how was that for you? Did anything interesting happen? Please do let me know in the comments. Remember, your identity or whatever might be revealed if you're using your real name, things like that. But if you do want to share what happened in the comments, I'd love to hear what happened. You see why it's best to video yourself, because sometimes it's hard to actually feel the movements as you do it. I'd love to hear that. If anyone does want to send their video in for me to show others, please do, because I'd love to see people doing this and seeing the responses they get. Again, that was only a very quick, basic sort of introduction. It's not what you would necessarily do in a session. You could do, but it's not really a thing I often do. But it's something I wanted to put out there to help people get an idea, because you may now be quite surprised to have a cause of your problem. And you might be thinking, what's that got to do with anything? Or, that's what I thought it would be. Let me know in the comments. Check out these other videos of mine on the screen now for more help. And if you'd like to work with me one-to-one online from anywhere in the world, visit my website, firstdrive.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.